All right, so this is a Logi video for efficient loggying, work smart, not hard. How to do your Logi in War 117 for 420 ST Regiment. Then this is considering the state of matters on September 26th, and when the front changes and the stuff we have access to changes and the tech changes, different things become more or less efficient. So let's talk about where we are now. Where we are now is that we have this front here with two factories and a storage depot. It's a little close to the front for me to put all our eggs here, but it's good to just put a bunch of BMATs and basic materials and explosive powder EMATs here, and then just the people at the front, if they need something up here, they could just put a pile of stuff in here, make it quickly, and get it up there. Or you can be the guy who's there filling things up, making sure there's enough of all the equipment. But I'm still using this storage facility here to hold bulk items, and our reserves in that storage facility. Make sure you understand how to access our reserves and add stuff to it and take out when you need it. So that's number one. Number two, um, working the Mersey's Whale, Scurvy-Shire, and Storage Depot line. So I like getting a flatbed, taking a shipping container to move stuff up from here to here, or the refinery here to here. And then in the meantime, as I'm doing it, I'm going over here and checking how these salvage mines are doing. And, without changing the car that you're using, you could just quickly, there's a train right here that you can use from time to time on a small gauge rail. Go follow the train tracks all the way over here, and I'm going to add some other info on using the train real soon, and then use that train to bring some salvage. You can bring up to, what is it, something like 6,000 at a time, and pop it in there. And then if these are all filled with 5,000, which they end up happening from time to time, you could do it like 3 or 4 times and have all the BMATs you need for a relatively decent amount of time. So that's another area where it's very efficient as far as having a lot of BMATs. The third area is the baths. And what I like about the baths is that you have a component or salvage mine and sulfur mine here, where if you have a flatbed with raw resource container and the sulfur mine's full or empty, you could still at least get salvage. Same here with component mine and salvage. Actually, that's not fueled. You have two salvage mines here, two really close that are often full. Yeah, that's another sulfur mine over here. Understand that sulfur, if you get 5,000 sulfur, you take it to the refinery down here, turn it into 5,000 high explosive powder, then pop it in the storage. Our guys can make more of that 120 ammunition. So a single thing of raw resources into here, and then hauling it up here will give you 500 high explosive powder, which can make 500 rounds of our artillery shells. So understand that's a good thing. Whenever you make high explosive, just pop it in. You're not going to be able to use it right away. Just get that done, and the next time you log in, it'll be completed. And then the final thing is that Terminus, we still use Terminus. And the upside of Terminus, and this would also go for Sataria, especially since we have a train that can haul stuff now, is that you have these mass production factories. And the good thing with mass production factories, especially if you're in Logi Squad, is you can put in an order, set it to squad so anybody can pull it when it's done, and make a lot of a single item. Now, this is good for things that use a lot of resources, like think of things that use massive amounts of explosive powder. And you could just put in your order and forget it. It's a thing that you put it in, and it'll be ready half a day later, so you don't just sit there waiting for it to get done. So that's probably the best reason. Plus, you can make vehicles for cheap because it cuts on resource costs if you put in a lot of orders. So that's the upside of Terminus. And of course, from Terminus, we freighter things over to Mercy's Whale. So that's my current state of what I think the most efficient Logi routes are. So in our tutorials, buried in it is this supply pyramid, which is pretty decent to understand what is most important and less important, or more, I guess, advanced materials versus your basics. And you're starting with shirts and BMATs being the most important, with guns and your ammo, and I guess this would be the Boma Stone or Mammons. And then some of the more advanced medical equipment and tank stuff, anti-tank stuff, which is here. And then you got these. This is kind of a good pyramid. I just wanted to point out so you can consider looking at it if you're new and you don't know what to make. Whatever you make, um, it'll get used unless it's something like pistol ammo. Everything on this thing will be used. So if we have a lot of it, so long as you're not putting it at a storage depot that's right on the front line so they could blow it up and you lose everything, stockpiling anything is helpful. So don't worry too much about it. But if you really wanted to be concerned with what we need, and right now I think we're pretty well supplied, so we're not starving for too much. Um, this is a good thing to consider. I would say look at, say, our Watchful Knave supply depot um, and figure out from there if there's anything on this list starting from the top that doesn't seem to be there and fill it up if you really wanted some kind of indicator. Alrighty, so now using the train in Scurvyshire. So again, we're here, we looked on the map, we saw that there's some salvage, maybe almost 5,000 if you count the three of those. Sometimes all three will be full. It doesn't take that long for these to refill. Very efficient since you don't need a particular vehicle. You could stay inside whatever you already got and then just use this as a train to move these over and make some BMATs and EMATs for yourself and diesel fuel if you want it. So all you do is hop in and you'll see on the bottom left, I mean, there's one here, there's a salvage mine, and another salvage mine. Shift E, then you pick the first one, and then you go to this first additional cart, and you just receive multiple until it's through. And here we go. And receive multiple on the next one. And then we're filled with that one. Shift E again, second salvage mine. I just pop off here and then continue shipping and moving things closer to the front. Or, when my BMATs come in and all that, then moving them to the front. As you saw with the Treasury, we can now just put our BMATs there, and then there's two factories there, so it's super efficient to just make a pile of stuff. So, gonna come up to the refinery. Just want to show you quickly how this works. And here we are. Got close enough, press E to use refinery. Let's see, go to the first one, dump it in, submit all. Go to the second one, dump it in, submit all. And say I want some explosive powder, go to the next one, right click, submit all, and back over here, submit all. And there you go. That's using the train. And then as a courtesy, of course, and to keep our roads from being cluttered, make sure you just move the train back. And, if you have all three of those mines with 5,000 each, you'd be able to do about 3 runs, which is a great thing to do. Just fill up your refinery so then your BMATs will be ready when you're ready to use them. It's very quick and a good idea, especially if there's nobody else looking to use it.